go.
Welcome to the March 12th, 2026 regular meeting of the Planning Commission of Walnut Creek. Would you take the roll?
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Moran.
Here.
Commissioner Klopp. Commissioner Klopp.
Here.
Commissioner Strongman.
Here.
Tricking us up.
Commissioner Kwok. Sorry about the rotation there. Commissioner Kwok.
Here.
Vice Chair Needing.
Here.
Chair Anderson.
Here.
Commissioner Count is attending a California League of Cities planning conference, and she will not be here tonight.
And I would note that anyone who's not been to that, that's a terrific thing to, you learn a lot. So next year they'll do it again.
Maybe it'll be in Northern Cal.
So the first thing on the agenda tonight is to elect a new chair. It comes with this fantastic little nameplate here. Tells you who you are. And that's not all. You get the famous Walnut Creek gavel,
Toolkit.
which, hardwood. It's really very nice. It's slightly used, slightly because Walnut Creek citizens are by and large very well behaved. We don't have to use it very often at all. So I will take nominations for the new chair.
I'd be pleased to nominate Pam Needing for chair.
Second.
You have a second? Any other nominations?
Commissioner Klopp.
Yes.
Commissioner Strongman.
Yes.
Commissioner Moran.
Yes.
Commissioner Kwok.
Yes.
Vice Chair Needing.
Did she get to vote for?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Or not?
And Chair Anderson.
Yes.
That is motion carries, and we have a new commissioner. We'll go, are you going to do the honors? Okay, great.
And then you get to dispense with that. You're right or left-handed?
I'm right-handed, sorry. I have all the things over here.
You are now driving the boat.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Now, I would like to, who would like to nominate for vice chair?
I'd like to nominate Molly Klopp for vice chair.
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Kwok.
Yes.
Let me catch up here. Commissioner Moran.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Klopp.
Oh,
Yes.
Commissioner Strongman.
yes.
Vice Chair Needing.
Yes.
And Commissioner Anderson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Did I get everybody?
So before we go on to the consent calendar,
Oh,
No.
can I, was it Commissioner Strongman that second in that? Okay, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Thank you, Claire. Okay.
oh, I'm sorry. But before we go to the consent calendar, I just want to thank former Chair Anderson for just doing such a wonderful job. We had chicken. We had so many. We had pickleball. How many other things? We had so many.
Builder's Remedy?
We had, yes. You chaired the first Builder's Remedy project,
And you
notwithstanding,
locked the last.
the one and only.
Two dealerships?
Pardon me?
Two dealerships?
Dealerships, you chaired us and walked us and guided us through chickens and foods and coffees and bakeries and all sorts of housing legislation. So and you did it so gracefully also. So, and also helped us out whenever we had to call for a break to use the potty. So I thank you for even being considerate for that. So I just want to thank you so much for everything.
That's the first time I've been accused of grace.
Oh.
Thank you.
Do we have, okay, so now, do we have anything on the consent calendar?
There is nothing on the consent calendar, nor are there any recommendations to move any items to consent.
Perfect. So now on to public communication. So there's two opportunities for the public to propose public comment. The first is during each item of the agenda, which we only have one item as it pertains to that item. But if anyone in the audience has a comment that is within the purview of the Planning Commission and that is not on the agenda item, which we only have one, now the time to do that is now. Do we have any? Seeing none. Great. So now I'd like to start the portion of the public hearing, which we have. Oh, that's right. Before we start the public hearing for the item, did anyone have any ex parte communication? I see a lot of shaking of no. So the project that we have before is the Sunnyvale Single Family Residential Development Major Subdivision Density Bonus Design Review, Tree Removal, Tree Drip Line Encroachment Permit. Does the staff have a presentation?
So I apologize in advance for my coffee. So, good evening, Planning Commissioners. My name is Gerardo Victoria, Assistant Planner, Community Development Department. The project before you today is the Sunnyvale Single Family Residential Development located at 1725 Sunnyvale Avenue. Some site context: the general plan designation for this site is single family medium. The zoning designation is residential, single family residential 8. And it is surrounded by other single-family neighborhoods and the Taiwanese Cultural Church. So this is where the Cultural Church is located, right there. As you can see, the lot is outlined in yellow. And this is Sunnyvale Avenue right there. And this is the front of the property, the one single-family home, and then this is on the inside of the property, the second single-family home. So the project is calling to demo the 2 existing single-family residential homes and the accessory structures on the lot, construct an 8-lot subdivision with a private street, a 5-foot right-of-way dedication facing Sunnyvale Avenue that's consistent with the city's future street setback standards, 8 2-story single-family homes with accessible dwelling units, 1 low-income will be an affordable unit out of the 8. The project is asking for a density bonus for 14 waivers, new landscaping, a new bioretention area, new retaining walls, new privacy fences, and the removal of 32 trees, 11 of which are highly protected in Walnut Creek. So for your consideration tonight at the Planning Commission is for the major subdivision, the design review, the density bonus, the tree removal and tree drip line encroachment permits. This project did go to the Design Review Commission as a study session in November of 2025. At the Design Review Commission, they made the following recommendations. To increase the height of the perimeter fence to 7 feet, the applicant has revised the plans to install a 7-foot fence, which includes a 2-foot lattice along the interface within the existing neighborhood, expand the canopy of the trees being planted. So the applicant has selected trees native to Walnut Creek with larger canopies and faster growth rates. Select tree species known for fast growth rates and include some trees as 36-inch box sizes. The applicant has selected faster growth rates. 2 36-inch box native oak trees have been added to the project. Re-examining the planting of the gum trees, there was some concern about the native species and their growth rates. The applicant has revised the landscape plan, substituting the gum trees for coast live oaks, Brisbane box trees, crepe myrtles, strawberry trees, and the trident maple trees. Conduct a thorough analysis of the habitat within the parcel. There was concerns raised by the neighbors about the local wildlife. A biological report submitted to staff dated December of 2025 shows that there's no habitat of concern. The mature trees on the lot are old, but they are unaccompanied bird nests. They have unaccompanied bird nests. No special status species or habitats were found or are considered likely to occur on the site. So the Housing Accountability Act, the SB 330, the city's review is limited if the project meets all applicable standards. The project cannot be denied. The density cannot be lowered without specific findings due to health and safety. It vests the ordinances, the policies, the standards when the pre-app was submitted. The pre-app was submitted in July of 2025. This project is consistent with the city's objective standards, including development regulations and design review standards and guidelines, and the development standards, with the exception of those waived. The applicant is requesting 14 waivers. So this is the existing site plan. This is Sunnyvale Avenue right here. These are the two single-family homes that are going to be demoed. There's one right there, there's one here, and the accessory structures right here. This is the proposed 8-lot subdivision. This is Sunnyvale Avenue right here. This is a new right-of-way dedication facing Sunnyvale Avenue, new bioretention right there, the new private street located here. These are the 8 lots, which have an 11-foot rear yard setback right here. I think the lot 4 is going to be the low-income affordable unit. And lot 8 right here has a new 13-foot, 4-inch setback along these neighbors right here. As you can see, they have retaining walls and 7-foot fences located throughout the site. So the density bonus request, the general plan designation for this site allows 3.1 to 6 dwelling units per acre. The size of the lot is 0.93 acres, which comes out to a 5.58 dwelling units per acre. We always round up. So the base density is 6 units. One of the homes is low income level, so they are providing 17% density bonus, which allows them to increase the units by 30.5%, which gets them to 1.52. So we round up from 1.52, we round up to 2. That is where they get the 8 maximum single-family homes. Density bonus allows relief from standards that would physically preclude the feasibility of the housing development. Again, the applicant is requesting 14 waivers. The city is required to waive such standards unless it makes specific findings that any such proposal would have a specific adverse impact upon the health, safety, or the physical environment. These are the 14 waivers that are being requested. I'm not going to go through all of them, so just a couple. So in the residential 8 zone, the minimum lot size is 8,000 square feet. They are proposing a 4,100 square foot lot sizes, lots 2 to 6, which they are also asking for a minimum lot width and lot frontage and lot depths to be reduced. The minimum rear yard setback in the residential 8 zone is 15 feet, and they are requesting 11 feet. So there's 2 types of elevation plans. The floor plan is all the same throughout all the lots. So the first plan is the transitional, calls for white snow board and batten siding with white snow smooth coat stucco with glass sectional garage doors with a gable roof. These are the exterior wall sconces located on the exterior of the homes right there and over here. The second elevation plan is the Bay Area plan. Calls for evergreen fog horizontal siding, smooth coat stucco, and also glass sectional garage doors. And they have a hip roof with the same wall sconces. This right here, this left elevation, I'm trying to use the pointer. This left elevation with the bullet windows for privacy is going to be facing the Dunning residence on lot 8. And I can go back to that slide. So this is the floor plan for the entire development. This is the first floor plan right here. This is the entrance. The kitchen to this single-family home is located in the rear. The The accessory dwelling unit, which is 277 square feet, is located on the first floor. It has its own exterior entrance here, and it has its own kitchen right there. This is a 2-car garage. On the second floor, you have your 3 bedrooms, 1, 2, 3. There's an option for a 4th bedroom that if someone selects the option of the 4th bedroom, it would replace the accessory dwelling unit located on the first floor right here. So new landscaping, the new bioretention area. This is the bioretention area off of Lot 1 facing Sunnyvale Avenue. I'm just going to go through some of the new trees. So the blue trees are the strawberry trees that are located off lots 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The yellow circles are the new Brisbane box trees that are located off 7 and 8. And the green trees are the 2 36-inch Coast live oaks located off lot 6 and 7 and on lot 8. There is over 11,000 square feet of new landscaping. That's the footprint. 5,300 of that is irrigated landscaping. These are the tree removal details. So the project is proposing to remove 32 trees. The ones in red are proposed to be removed. 8 have already been approved to be removed by the city arborist due to poor health. So 24 are in good health. 11 of the 24 are highly protected, which are valley oaks and black walnuts. So the ones with the yellow are the highly protected trees. And the project is keeping one highly protected tree located here. So staff anticipates using the CEQA 15332 infill exemption. The project is consistent with the applicable general plan designation and all general plan policies as well as the zoning designation. The project is consistent with the single-family medium general plan designation and the single-family residential R8 zoning designation. That the proposed development occurs within the city limits on a project site of no more than 5 acres. The project site is 0.93 acres and it is within the city limits. The project site has no value as a habitat for endangered or rare or threatened species. As the biological report stated, it indicates no habitats of concern on the lot with no special species or significant biological resources found or expected on the site. Approval of this project would not result in any significant effects relating to traffic, noise, air quality, or water quality. The project will not generate any significant effects related to traffic, noise, or quality due to the small scale of the proposed project, and that the site can be adequately served by all required utilities and public services. The project site is currently being served by all the utilities and the public services. So staff recommends move to adopt a draft resolution approving the CEQA determination, the major subdivision, the density bonus and requested waivers pursuant to state density bonus law, the design review, the tree removal, and tree drip line encroachment permits. Staff is available for any questions. The applicant, Mr. Doug Cummings, is also here with his team. If you have any questions for him.
Perfect, thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions for staff? Yes.
Could you speak a little bit more about the ADUs and what it does to our stats and our arena numbers?
ADUs increase our arena numbers, so that's a good thing. I don't have the actual numbers for arena, but they do impact those numbers in a positive way.
Okay. And is there any way we can require that they actually be built as ADUs?
No, maybe they do.
That the ADU be built as an ADU?
Yeah, because so that the potential option bedroom is not taken into account.
No, so the ADU is an attached ADU. It's being built unless someone wants the option of a 4th bedroom instead of the ADU.
But then could we restrict it that they have to have it as an ADU?
That, I will refer to city attorney. Can we restrict that option?
Well, I guess with whether or not it will be an occupancy space. So the matter would be, are you thinking it's just whether or not they have the kitchen, essentially?
Well, I guess since the ADUs, if we had eight ADUs?
Yes.
Increasing our numbers, if we could retain that as 8 and eliminate the optional bedroom.
Can I ask
Yeah,
a
I mean, the-
question, Claire?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Available sites.
How does it work? How does the option work for the affordable unit that has the optional ADU? When the buyer doesn't have, would a BMR buyer have an option to build the ADU? Or is the ADU also an option or not an option in the BMR?
The
So that'd be
ADU is-
interesting, right?
The ADU, and the applicant can answer that question, but the ADU is an option for all the 8 lots if they choose a 4th bedroom instead of the ADU.
Including the BMR unit.
And that's my understanding.
So then so since it's one unit, even though the unit is restricted to low AMI, that would not flow to the ADU?
You mean, is the ADU going to be also low income?
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
it's within the home of the restricted BMR.
I don't think we have that, I don't think we have that restriction on, I think it's only on the sale of the house, of the property.
The home itself.
Yeah,
Right, if it's going to be an ADU, it's going to be separate.
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Great question.
So, and just to be clear, the ADU is not a part of this hearing. So because the way that it does is that it gets processed separately. So essentially it's for illustrative purposes, but we don't approve the ADUs as a part of the public hearing because it has to be ministerial.
Okay,
Just a quick follow-up, while we're talking about the ADUs, and I understand it's ministerial. However, could there be a situation where the BMR unit is built, sold, someone owns it, rents the ADU for market rate? Or would they be allowed to rent it at all, or would it have to be BMR as a rental? I know I'm putting you on the spot, Claire, and I apologize, but, it just occurred to me that, that was a...
It's a great question, and I don't know the answer to that. My reaction would be that the BMR unit is a for sale unit, and it would only apply to the sale of the property.
But you wouldn't be able to, well, I guess the ADU would go with the BMR because you can't separately convey it, so.
Yeah, I don't think there's any restrictions on what that new homeowner could rent the ADU for. It's inherently low income because of the size of them.
And I would imagine if that were the case, there's income qualifications for whoever is renting that out, and so that would impact the numbers if that's.
And I know we're not doing this here, but that would be something to consider if it's going to be a BMR unit, that if it does have an ADU attached to it, that somehow that also be restricted with the rental, the market rate. That, I'm kicking up a lot of dust here, and I get that, but it's something to consider, whether it be, now or down the road.
I had a little trouble figuring out how you start with 5 units and you add 17% and you come up with 8 units. So I looked through it and I think I understand, but I'm going to go through it. And
Okay.
You can agree or disagree or tell me how I'm wrong. That with normal math, you have 5.58 units. That's what's allowed by the maximum general plan designation. If you add 17% to that, the way we all learn math in middle school or even 3rd grade, you take 17% of that, you get up to about 6.5. Now, the way zoning has been done for the past 70 years until fairly recently, if you had 5.58 units allowed, lots allowed, since you can't have a portion of a lot, you don't have enough land for 6 lots, so you zone it for 5 lots. The zoning would indicate 5 lots, everybody gets a little bit extra. So if you take that, 5 lots without the density bonus, you add 17%, you get 6.5, which again, under standard zoning, would be 6 lots. But then you have density bonus math, which is a little different than that.
It is.
So you got 5.58, but you round that up
Yes.
to 6. Then you add the 17%, which gets you to 17.02, and then you round that up again. You basically have 3 density bonus increases. You got the 0.42 to get to 6, you've got the 1.02 to get to 7.02, and then you've got another 0.98. And that's how you get from 5 to 8, which is basically a 60% increase with a 17% density bonus. Did I get that right?
Almost. Let me try to repeat it back to you. So depending on the income limit, medium, low, or very low, it's going to tell you the percentage of increase that you get to density bonus, right? So 5.58, we always round up to 6. So that's your base density, 6.
And that's part of the density bonus law.
The roundup is.
Roundup.
Roundup,
Yes,
yes.
correct. Yeah.
So one of the 6 units is low income, which is a 17% affordable, according to the calculation, regular math, 1 out of 6. It's like 16.66666, then you round up to 17.
That's how you get the 17%.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's a low income unit, the 17% allows you an additional 30.5% density. So 30.5 from 6 is 1.52. You round up, that's you get to the 2 additional units,
So.
a total of 8.
Which answers, I think, the next question, which was, does the 17% increase become a 30.5% increase? Is that some kind of table that they have in the density
Yes.
bonus? Okay. Here's the table, thank you. So one last question. When it says the applicant is proposing a 17% density bonus, is that, when you say the applicant is proposing that, is that because that's what's allowed?
Because 1 out of 6 is
one out of-
17%,
And so they're
so they're
proposing to
allowed to get 30.5%.
Okay, so proposing to take the whole,
Yes.
So they're actually proposing to set aside 17%.
yeah, yeah.
Then that gets them the density bonus.
It's probably poorly worded on my end, but yes.
no, that's, it's not intuitive. Thank you.
That was a great question. Any other, yes.
So I wanted to ask, as I was reviewing the project plans, I had noticed that the site is next to the Taiwanese Cultural Center, which is, if I recall correctly, we had considered last year in September. So when there's 2 projects going on next to each other, does that become like a delicate dance of coordinating the construction crews between the 2 parcels, or how do we work to make sure that things move smoothly?
I'm not familiar with the Taiwanese project. Go ahead.
A couple things on that, and you're absolutely right. There was a project at the Taiwanese Cultural Center that was approved. It was it was to memorialize the church and to build a new cultural center. Since then, they have encountered some issues with their design team, and they're not likely going to build what was approved, but might come back for another project. I don't know what this applicant's construction schedule is, but I would bet that it's going to be quicker. However, if there were to be building permits issued for both those projects at the same time, we always have pre-construction meetings with our construction crew. We have a guy, Don Murphy, who's very good at this, has been doing it for a long time, and it's almost orchestrated. Coming and going of materials, extra work hours, things like that, if they're requested. So it would be congested a little bit. It'd be it would cause some strain on the neighborhood if they were both to be built at the same time. But we would do the best we could to orchestrate that.
Okay, thank
Or
you.
coordinate that, I guess. Yeah.
Any other questions? Oh, yes.
Just for clarity, the staff report says the city is required to waive or reduce local standards unless it makes specific findings that any such proposal would have specific adverse impact upon health, safety, or the physical environment, et cetera. As I understand, that is a very high bar. That's not, it doesn't seem, safe as we'd like it to be. It means that there is a definable safety hazard or a health hazard or some kind of environmental hazard, whatever, but it's a high bar. It's something very specific that is noticeably wrong with it.
Correct.
Yeah, it is, and it is a high bar because the statute requires first you have a standard that's objective, and it's actually, the law has actually changed to eliminate the physical environment portion. So it's actually now just health and safety, but you have to have a standard that is published before the preliminary application came in, and it has to be objective, and then it has to, there has to be a violation against that standard that's so, quantifiable and significant, and then you can say that that is a specific adverse impact. So yes, it is a high bar to meet.
Thank you.
And I should add that it is the burden of proof is on the city.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, which is a big deal. Oh, yes.
Yep, sorry, can't find my button. Do we have that, our standard in the city of Walnut Creek has been established?
You mean a standard on,
For that threshold for this particular issue?
well, in the staff report, in the record, we don't see there is such a standard and that there's a inconsistency with that standard. So, and so the findings goes through and says that there isn't such presence of an adverse
Okay.
impact.
Thank you.
I have so many thoughts on CEQA because I know I do CEQA for, But what I'd like to do is, does the applicant have, because I think they have a presentation.
I don't know if he has a presentation.
Okay,
but
never
he's
mind.
available for questions.
Got it. Okay, so no applicant presentation. Then let's open up the public hearing then, right? That's how I need to ask the applicant questions.
Okay.
Because I have questions for the applicant.
Okay.
So what happens if they don't have a presentation? Do they still have a set time?
They can, yes, they can. They can come and speak, even if they don't have a slide or anything. They can come and speak, and then you can ask, the commission can ask them questions.
Okay, beautiful. Thank
Want him
you.
to come up?
Yes, please.
Hello, I'm Doug Cummins with Dolan Group Architecture, and I have our consultant team as well here to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Would you like me to start, or?
You go.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you questions that you probably won't be able to answer without CBG, if they're here.
They're here.
And I'm basically going, it's a few things that I saw from the resident concerns that came to us. And so what I want to talk about specifically for CBG is, I did notice something. So I'm seeing that on the east side, north is to the left. So on the east side of the project, adjacent to the 3 single-family homes, it looks like the proposed development is actually around 5 feet lower than the existing. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's
Okay.
about 4 feet, actually.
It's about 4 feet, okay. I see that, because there's a pad in the finished floor. So that is one important thing, because there was a lot of discussion about the existing homes and adjacent to this. So one item that I did notice is that the proposed pad elevations is not set higher. So that was one important thing. The other question that I had was, there was a lot of discussion about drainage, which makes absolute sense. And so what I'm seeing is that you've handled, there was questions about drainage, treatment, habitat, et cetera, which I'm not gonna ask you biological questions because I know that's not you. But one thing that I did notice is that you have accurately, so not only are you providing water treatment where there was none before, is that correct?
My name is Justin Albo, CBG Civil Engineers, just to be clear. That is correct.
Okay, so you're providing water treatment where there was none, and then there was a concern about general drainage. So from what I'm seeing, there's one DMA area and you're providing overland release, but in your words, can you tell us how you're handling the drainage?
Yeah, so everything is collected on lot and then conveyed into the common street. And then that is actually sheet flowing down and then goes into the bioretention through an inlet at the, kind of at the beginning of the drive, directly in front of the bioretention. So it goes through the bioretention and that handles treatment. Before it's discharged from site, it goes into a storage pipe, and that's mitigating our post-project flows to pre-project levels. So we're not increasing, and that's a city standard and a requirement for the ordinance to mitigate back to your pre-project flows.
So there is no drainage concerns, and can you explain what overland release, because I just realized I said that and that's an engineering term?
Sure. So in the event that your storm drain system is designed to convey typically up to the 10-year storm within the pipes. So when you get to larger events where that system capacity may be exceeded, you want to design your site to overland release, right? We don't want our homes to flood. You want it to get into the street, convey off-site. That would be overland release. Your pipes are full, there's no more capacity, so it basically enters into the street, and then the street's utilized essentially as a conveyance. And that's pretty standard and common throughout the city.
Perfect. And then the last question is, I noticed that you are keeping certain trees, but so where you could for the grading, did you try to, it's a pretty tight site, but at the very least, you tried to maintain the development footprint to at least maintain those 4 trees, if memory serves me correctly?
Yeah, it's as you mentioned, it's a very tight site, and with the approach between the state laws and everything else, density is a factor. And on a site like this, you're not left with a ton of options to keep the trees and kind of get to the land plan that is here and the number of units that are allotted based on the density bonus law. So it's not lost on us, it's not lost on the applicant, the significance of saving, as many existing trees as you can. There's, mitigation requirements for those. It's not very, easy and cost effective to remove trees when you could save them. Unfortunately, in this case, to get to the density allowed, provide the access that's required for the utility separations, for fire department requirements, and to deal with just general conform grades around the edges, it just wasn't a feasible option. So we had to kind of move in a direction to where we're going to have to remove and deal with the mitigation and permitting.
And then the last item that I see from just some of the concerns that I was reading, that hammerhead was very intentional. And so much so that from what I'm seeing, in order to put that hammerhead in there, which was, I'm assuming the standards were approved by the fire department, you had to put a retaining wall on lot 7 to make sure that that fire truck could go in and out. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Does anyone have any more questions?
Thanks, guys. The road, there's no HOA, correct?
No HOA planned on this one. It'll be
So it's a private road.
private road.
Is the assumption that everybody's going to be neighborly, when it needs to be re-slurried, in a couple of years, or what?
It's basically like an assessment that's applied to the neighbors. It just cuts down some of the costs that are associated with a formal HOA management. So there will be budgets that are created that go into making sure that the common improvements can be maintained and dealt with, but it'll be more done at a homeowner level versus an outside HOA management
Right.
company.
So the homeowners will pay into some sort of fund.
Yeah.
But it won't be like you're gonna take a lien on the house if they don't start paying it or anything, like more informal, as you would say.
Yes, it's more
Yeah.
formal.
Okay. But that's at least comes with the house, I assume.
Correct.
Okay. I had a second question. Bear with me. Oh, the way the ADUs work. If I want to buy a house, do I say I want one or I don't want one? Is that, or I'd rather have the 4th bedroom? Not me,
Yeah.
but you get it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, really, and then too, for the ADUs, there's really not too much difference as far as the layout of a fourth bedroom versus an ADU. It's really just the exterior entry for the ADU, and then a small kitchenette, which is a little bar sink, like a 2-burner stove and an under-counter refrigerator. And we designed those in there mainly for the demographic of, returning students from college, for elderly parents, for multi-generational living, not necessarily as a goal of income for that home. It's really for kind of extended families and things like that, from what we've seen from other projects in the city.
I guess that's my question too, is I wouldn't expect you to do any market research in terms of, there's 8 units, we think we're gonna get X number of people that want the fourth bedroom versus the ADU, but do you think it'll be half? Do you think it'll be all? Do you think it'll be, enough to, just curious what your thoughts are.
I think because they are so similar, I think it'll probably be about half. I think when someone sees the ADU and sees that exterior entry and kind of the secluded kind of personal space of that area, I know me personally, I don't have a need for an ADU, but like, hey, that's pretty nice to have that for, aging parents or things like that, to have that option.
And then theoretically, you could get an ADU and then punch a hole in the wall and then have a fourth bedroom with a separate entrance too, right? If you wanted to.
You could,
Okay,
yeah.
right. I'm just down the road.
You're not
right, 'cause
allowed
it's
to, but you could.
It's part, it's attached. You know,
Yes, I know what you
contractors.
mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. That's all I had. Thanks.
Thank you so much for answering our questions. One of the questions that came up, I know during the design review meeting and also in the comments, was flipping the project so that the density of the houses was against the Taiwanese center as opposed to the other way. And I think there's some reasons not to do that, but I just wondered if you could elucidate them for us. Thank you.
I think mainly it has, go ahead.
Yeah, it really had to do with the drainage of the site and where the high points are and the low points are of the site, to make sure that all of that flow, that pre and post was calculated the right way and being able to be controlled on our site as well.
Thank you.
Any more questions for the applicant? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, are there any public comments? Public cards? No?
No cards yet?
Okay.
Oh, but maybe there were.
What's that? Are there any public comments? If so, yeah, if you wouldn't mind stepping up and providing your card, please. And then you'll see Chip put up. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shuo Diao. I live on 1715 Sunnyvale Avenue. So I live in the lot where I'll have 4 new houses as my new neighbors. So I'm really surprised about the density of this project. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's very different from the existing neighborhood. Like, no houses in the neighborhood is that dense. It used to be just like one house, and the owner had a renter. So imagine from there to like now, 8 new houses. And if a house, average household, maybe 4 people, then all of a sudden I have 32 new neighbors next to me. And I know you mentioned that you have done some traffic or noise or safety study, but like from my perspective, this is going to be a huge change. The lot is tight, and Sunnyvale is the main road. There will be a lot of new traffic on the road. And I work from home. I need a quiet environment. Just imagine having like 32 new people all of a sudden living next to me. It's gonna affect how I live my life in my own home. So, yeah, so I just want to say this is going to be a huge change. Please consider impact. It doesn't look consistent with other houses in the neighborhood. And it's really sad to see the environment will change so much because so many trees. It's true that you have new fence, but like, for example, our current fence, we have a lot of nice greenery. We have like plants in the fence. And how are you going to rebuild those going forward? Okay, thank you for your time. Yeah.
Are there any other public comments?
My name is Hillary Heibel. I live on Maggie Lane, so we're behind this project. I spoke at the design review. I'm still lobbying for you guys flipping it. I mean, I'm hearing, oh, the drainage. Well, you're gonna have to take out 32 trees, grind stumps, move utilities to get to 8 different houses. That lot is gonna be so torn up. How can you not figure out how to get drainage so that all those 8 houses, 11-foot backyards, are facing a parking lot and not these other neighbors? I think your hands are tied in a lot of ways, but they got 2, 3 extra houses out of this project. They're gonna make some money. They might have to spend $500,000 to deal with the drainage. They're gonna make money. So that, I just think, is kind of a cop-out. And I also feel like if you were to do that, you might be able to save tree 14, which is the tallest valley oak on the property. It's been there probably longer than most of us who've lived in this city. And a coast live oak, I think I know what that is. It's not gonna be the same, and I think they're super messy. So, whatever. 11-foot setback is not much. I'm 5'9", 5'10", sorry, it's 2 of me. That's someone's backyard. So why are you literally putting it up against other people who have been there forever? They're gonna go out in their backyard around their barbecues or fire pits. You're gonna hear everything. There's no privacy. And then lastly, on the bullet windows, for those that face other neighbors, I don't know if you can mandate it, but why can't they be opaque? So you don't, the other neighbors do have privacy. As long as they're not operational, why not make them not be able to see through them?
Thank you. Is there any more public comment? Seeing none, I know the applicant has time now to also respond back to any of the public comment. Would the applicant like to do so?
Hi, Doug Cummins again from Dahlin Group Architecture. So I think really, I think the biggest one is really the bullet windows. So the bullet windows are up very high. So they're 8-foot head height, 6 foot to the bottom of the sill, and they are fixed. They'll be, 18 inches by 18 inches or 2 feet by 2 feet, somewhere in there, which with the frame and everything, you really get less glass than that actually from there. So with moving on lot 8, moving the house a little bit further away from that lot line to the 13 feet, a little over 13 feet, and those bullet windows, I think we did a good job of making sure no one's gonna actually be peering over the fence or looking at anything from that side of the lot. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you. So with that, I'm going to close the public hearing portion. And now I'm going to bring it back to my fellow commissioners for discussion, comments. Who would like to start?
I'll jump in. On the flipping of the project, when we went through the Taiwanese project, it was very definitely, we had suggested they have it in the current configuration to avoid having the new houses being suffering from noise and other activities from the Taiwanese Cultural Center. So, and then you have the drainage, so that's one reason why we had it that way.
When I was taking a look at the plans, from what I'm seeing, you typically want to have homes on the like the uphill side. And so from what I'm seeing, and that's why I was asking all those questions, is that the drainage is going from east to west, which is why and then to capture all that drainage within that street and then overland release it out. So that was one of the big things when I read the comment about flipping it, that was what I had understood. And so to be able, as an engineer, so to be able to hear that was important for me. Does anybody else have any more comments?
So just so I understand this, because I'm not an engineer, but if we were to flip the site, because I thought it would be as easy as flipping it and then it would be flat, but it sounds to me, based on what I'm hearing now, that it would be like a pretty massive reengineering of the whole site?
I should not answer that
Okay,
because I am not the engineer.
okay.
Yeah, it would require a massive redesign of the site. You would end up with much deeper cuts up against the existing houses. So we've got about a 3.8-foot delta there now. You're going to move that to something in the 7 to 8 foot range, and then you're going to add 4 feet of retaining up against the Taiwanese site as well. So you're going to increase your retaining wall, and from a cost standpoint, projects like this, the margins aren't as great as you might think they are, and so that could really just flip the economics of a project like this. In terms of the trees, you're still going to have the same improvement footprint, so the tree impacts would be the same.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to thank the neighbors for coming out and speaking up, and the builders and engineers for listening. I think, in California, we're so housing constrained, and these projects give us opportunity to address a significant shortage. But without the public process and communication process, we don't improve what's put before us. So through your comment, the builder has addressed the windows, they've addressed the walls, they've tried to address the trees, the things that are within our control to address. It may not be perfect, but it's a really important asset to this community to build more housing. It really helps. I have this passion about affordable housing, accessible housing. It helps with our numbers in that area, and we want our kids, family members, et cetera, to be able to stay in Walnut Creek. So I do support the project. I know that it's going to be a big change for the neighbors, and I hope and I expect that the builder will be a good partner to the neighbors through the change process. So thank you all for your speaking up. I appreciate it.
Yeah, from my comments earlier, you probably understood that I was kind of curious as to how this much density got on there. But there it is. And it's, through the density bonus law that, we're required to adjust the density we'd like to see there to something more. Given that, I think that, the design is a good one. I think the ADU, the built-in ADU / fourth bedroom is really a fairly clever way of allowing more people to live there. I can imagine a family staying there for quite a while, perhaps no children at first, and they rent out the ADU. As the kids come along, they turn it into a fourth bedroom. And when the kids come back,
to the ADU to hide.
when the kids get out of college, of course, they're back in the ADU. And assuming that it's just a question of closing one door and opening another one to make that change, as long as you don't mind the fourth bedroom having a kitchen in it. I think that's a fairly nice design to really address affordable housing in a fairly creative way. I will say that with the objective standards that we're required to use now, it's very difficult to require design changes So the design review really makes, recommendations, hoping that the applicant is listening. In this case, each of the design review suggestions has a appropriate response from the applicant to try to make that change for the better. So I appreciate that as well. So given the environment that we're in and the limited discretion we have, I think this is a good project.
I did want to bring something up to staff, because CEQA is complicated. So CAT 32 exemptions still require a review of all 17 items that is in Appendix G for CEQA. Is that correct? I believe so, yes. Yes. Go ahead, Claire. I know.
Yeah, I think that's an appropriate way to handle the exemption. Sometimes for really small projects or very straightforward projects, it's the record is very apparent that there is no significant impact, and that the city can decide upon those facts.
So, but the point is that there was a review of it. There was a type of environmental analysis, because one of the questions was like it almost seemed like there was nothing, but there was. The city did review it to figure out if there was an impact or not.
Right, and the city is required to do that in order to findings of the exemption.
Exactly. So I did want to bring that up because I know that was a request of the neighborhood, that categorical 32, or as I like to call it, CAT 32 or Class 32 exemptions. It does actually require a review of. It's a huge long list, Appendix G. I also think it's a well thought out project. I have the benefit of having to be able to study that drainage, so I understand why it was designed as it was. And I would like to ask if anybody would like to entertain a motion.
I would like to propose a motion to approve the resolution for major subdivision vesting tentative map, density bonus, design review, tree removal, and tree drip line encroachment permits for application number Y25-048 at 1725 Sunnyvale Avenue.
And is there any discussion on the motion, or?
No, second motion.
Okay. I don't know who it was. It came out of both ears.
I'll give it to him.
Thank you.
Roll call vote. Okay. Vice Chair Klopp,
Wow.
you made the motion.
Approved.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Moran,
Yes.
Commissioner Strongman.
Yes.
Commissioner Kwok,
Yes.
Chair Knighty.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. So now I'd like to see if there's anything else on the agenda, any considerations, commission considerations, staff, others?
Just one mention on that project, that this decision is appealable for 10 days after the resolution is mailed, which would be tomorrow. Let's see. Do I have anything? Well, all I can tell you is that the Planning Commission is going to be busy for a while. We have agendas going through, I think, into June now, with at least one item. Some have several. But I do cap them at 3 if they're big projects, 4 if they're not so big projects.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
I do have one update report. Today was the monthly TransPAC meeting, and what's going on in TransPAC right now is they're in the process of reviewing applications for Measure J funds, which is funding for senior and people with disability transportation. They've received 11 projects, 3 of which are from Walnut Creek. I'll tell you in a minute. They have $1.2 million available and $2.26 million, twice the amount of applications for what they have for money. You get it. They're currently putting together a scoring process. Those projects are being presented to Transpac. The Walnut Creek applications are from the City of Walnut Creek, a transportation program for seniors and adults with disabilities, and 2 from Rossmore, one for downtown Walnut Creek services and fleet modernization. So we'll see what happens.
Thank you for attending that. And anybody else? Oh, go ahead.
All right, so last week we had the first draft of the sign ordinance, the update that came in, and so we've reviewed it. The working team has provided the feedback along with city staff comments to the consultants, and they're reviewing our feedback and updating the draft ordinance from there. So it looks like we're making progress. I think it's exciting. It takes in a lot of the stakeholder feedback from the business community, and we'll see where things go from there. So we'll have something before you soon. Things are moving along.
Perfect.
Cool.
So many signs that have come before us. So thank you for doing that work. Anybody else? I think we're adjourned. Thank you.
Will somebody take a picture of us with these things up in front of us?
Do we stand or?
Or should we sit behind?